Maybe you guys are really thinking about getting into real estate. And when I mean by thinking about it, I hope it hasn't been too long, right? Just because of doubt, that fear, and that lack of confidence of actually completing your first deal seems to seep in and now becomes even more difficult to get into real estate. Now, with that, maybe there's other things kind of blocking you to get started in real estate. A big one that, like I mentioned, is going to be that lack of confidence, right? And that lack of confidence doesn't go away until you do some deals, right? So if you spend, 6 months thinking about it, a year thinking about it, even 5 or 10 years thinking about it, that just reinforces that you can't get into real estate. Now, I know if you're smart, if you're someone watching this kind of content, you guys are probably smart enough to do real estate. It's just that mindset, that lack of abundance thinking, and instead going into scarcity thinking is what blocks a lot of people. That's really the mindset piece of like, hey, why is it taking so long to get into that first deal? Because the first deal is just the beginning, right? Like that first deal, all it really does, and I always say it's probably the most important deal because it shows you that it's possible. None of this, I know I can do it, but I've never actually closed the deal. None of this, I know how to raise capital, even though I've never raised capital, because that's just diluting you, right? This is an experience based game, right? The more deals that you do, the easier it becomes, right? And that's also going to pour into your mindset of how you can actually get it done, right? So we have one like my name asks how international students can enter this field. That's a great question. I've had a few international students get into their own deals. A lot of them will do wholesaling, right? So we'll talk about that a little bit later, different type of deals that you can do. But depending on your situation, right? Like I really need to get to know more about your situation to give you sound advice and really educate you on what would be the best way for you to get into real estate because everyone's got a different situation. So if you're interested, make sure to DM me the word coach. Not only will I send you my free ebook, but let's jump on a free strategy session. So anyone watching this in the recording, if you DM me the word coach at Patrick J. Hilario on Instagram, I'll send you my free ebook. You'll also get a free 5-day course on getting started in real estate. And then we could also jump onto a Zoom call so I can build you a customized roadmap. Just because with you, especially if you're an international student, or maybe you're working a 9 to 5, or maybe you're a full-time investor, they just want to scale. Like those are all different situations. And I really need to be able to see where you are personally so that we can customize that, right? So Calvin messages like international students can again get into mortgages. This was just updated 2 weeks ago. Yeah, exactly. There are changes. So this is why it's important to be part of a community. Calvin's one of my students here and he's awesome. He's already closed his first deal. He's moving forward. He's already done a few deals as well on the private lending side. And that's kind of further in your journey. But that's where I'd love for you guys to get to, and that you're not even doing your own deals anymore. You're just passing money and being able to get that true passive income. Okay. So I'd love to see you in that Zoom call. Make sure you message me. If you look in my stories, you could actually book a Zoom call right then and there. But DM me the word coach. I'm on this live stream, so I probably won't be personally responding, but my team will respond and they'll help you set that all up and send you those ebooks. So make sure you do that. Cool. So that's one block, right? The mindset block of getting into real estate. The next one is going to be, okay, how much time does this require? Right. And the key thing about time, and this is a little bit more coming from my background in philosophy, is that how you spend your time is how you determine your being. So your being, who you are, is going to be determined by your time. It's not what you do. Yes, that's included in like how you spend your time. It's not necessarily how you think. Yes, that's also included in how you spend your time. But this key of being and becoming an investor means that you're spending your time doing that, right? And it doesn't take that much time, right? I work with students that are still in university. I work with 9 to 5ers. I work with people that are busy entrepreneurs running multiple businesses. Like I run multiple businesses and I still have time to invest into real estate. Really only takes an hour to 4 hours a week to really move forward. And you don't have to go full time into real estate. The beauty about real estate is you can start this part time. So I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can start doing this part time. And the big piece here is you want to schedule this in, right? And what do I mean by that? The first thing you need to understand about real estate investing or any kind of business really is you need leads, right? It's very marketing heavy in the sense that you want people to know that you're getting into real estate. This is one of the first lessons I ever cover when I'm coaching my students is that you need to be marketing. This is with any business, right? If you don't have leads, you don't have a business or your business is slowly dying, right? So again, if you don't have leads, you don't have a business and your business is slowly dying, right? I see a lot of hobbyists not have a marketing budget, right? Not spend money on marketing, even though every lead comes through some form of marketing. There's organic marketing, like making content like I'm doing right now, making reels, making posts, posting on social media. Even something that I've implemented is going out regularly, right? So we have a small program where we help mostly it's, males ages 25 to 38. And these are people that, struggle a little bit with the confidence in the dating side. And people ask, like, what does that have to do with real estate investing? Well, you're dating actually will affect your real estate investing a lot because dating is just social skills. And if you lack those social skills, you're going to lack the ability to raise money. You're not going to have the confidence to go up to money partners and private sellers. And then it's going to be very difficult for you to really communicate, right? The best real estate investors that I know have excellent communication skills, and they're usually in committed relationships or married, or they have their dating handled, right? And that's something that I've kind of noticed over the years in that the more confident you can become socially, the more confident you'll become financially. And it's just understanding that those two are so tied together. So part of my own marketing plans includes going out regularly. Why? Because this is where you're meeting people in organic places. I'm not going to the bar and like pitching people for money or pitching people that I'm going to buy their house. I'm just chatting them up, getting to know them, having a good time, right? I love just like chatting people up, having a fun time and going out. Like I don't really even drink anymore, but that's how I'm just socializing. And when we exchange Instagram contact information, they're gonna get to know that I'm in real estate anyway. You don't have to talk about real estate every single time you're going out, but you want to set yourself up. You want to position yourself so that you can track these deals, attract these money partners, and slowly but surely build your real estate investing brand, right? Your brand is just another fancy word for your reputation, right? So when it comes to building this out, you understand what can you control, what can you not control. You can control how much you're posting. You can control how often you're going out and meeting people. You can control how many calls you make, right? All this is in your control and part of your marketing systems. Because again, if you're not getting leads for your business, you're not getting potential money partners, you're not getting potential leads, maybe you're not even working with a realtor. Like that's probably step number 2, even number 1 is have a realtor that you can work with so that you can actually get these deals sent to you. You don't have to go the private route. It is something that I coach my students on, but you don't even have to go that way. Sometimes it might not be worth your time, especially in the beginning. So that's the marketing side, right? You got to have these deals come your way and start attracting these deals. If you're someone who's interested in like learning the art and the science of, okay, how do we actually attract these deals, both in real estate investing, but also maybe for your social skills, a big piece is going to be that attracting money partners, attracting deals, and just people in general so that they'll want to work with you and want to invest in you and your business is understanding that attraction and getting people to move forward with you in business and socially is not an on and off switch. It's not binary. It's not, yes, they want to invest, no, they don't. It's a dimmer switch, right? You want to go from 0 to 100. Okay, this is the difference between cold leads and very, very, very hot leads, right? There's things that you could do, there's ways that you can provide value to people that moves them forward and warms them up so they can eventually close a deal with you, maybe become a money partner, maybe even become a long-term investor. Okay. Part of that is you want to essentially, what I like to call, become the chosen one, right? What does that even mean? That means you're the type of person that people want to work with. You're the type of person where if you ask, hey, let's come hang out. I want to show you some deals. I want to show you how I work with money partners so that they can get passive income, that they'll actually want to join you, right? If you have a hard time meeting people over, let's say, coffee, it's not the coffee that's turning them off, right? It's probably going to be you, right? There's going to be something lacking in there. Maybe it's giving them the feeling that you're just asking for too much. Maybe it's that you're not offering enough value, or maybe it's this idea that you're not quite there yet. And I can tell usually in people's voices, right? Your voice is a representation of who you are. And it's usually this rapport seeking tonality, like, hey, how's it going? Do you want to invest with me? And it's just always going up. And what that shows me is someone's not confident in what they offer. They're not confident that they can actually help someone. They're not confident in their skills as a real estate investor, and they might not even be confident in themselves, right? There's a big overarching theme, not only in business, but like I've been in the self development game for a long time, and your business and financial success is never going to exceed your personal development, right? So before we get too deep into that, I want to make sure I offer you guys a little bit more value in that for you guys getting started, first piece is getting marketing, making sure that deals are coming your way. The second piece there is you actually want to set up your power team. Okay. Who's going to be part of your power team? You're going to want a realtor to bring you deals, and this person is going to be able to give you comparables so that you can understand what's happening in the market, so that you know what price you should buy these properties at, what price should you possibly be selling or getting these properties appraised at. If you want to get into real estate and you don't have a dedicated realtor, you're just talking shit, right? Like you're just telling people that you're getting into real estate, you're not really actually doing it. And it shows me that you're not serious, right? Like, don't tell me you want to get into real estate if you haven't even contacted, like minimum one realtor. Like, get a realtor on your team, right? Realtors are so key in the real estate investing business because they're the one going to be giving you leads, right? They're going to be the one that's also going to be educating you. Yeah, you can have a coach, yeah, you can have a mentor, but your realtor is going to be like the key part of your business. Next, you're going to want a lawyer, right? A lawyer that's going to help you close deals. Now, usually I don't get a lawyer, especially if you're starting, you don't really need a lawyer up until you're actually closing. It's not a bad idea to start having these conversations with these lawyers sooner than later. An accountant and a bookkeeper is going to be essential as well, especially if your goal is to close more than just one deal, right? What we do at Alliance Real Estate is I make customized real estate roadmaps for people so we understand how many deals you actually need to close. Some of you guys, maybe you need 10 deals to get that financial freedom, that money freedom, that time freedom, that location freedom, whatever your kind of life that you're trying to build. Some of you guys maybe just need 4 properties, one for each of your kids. It sets them up for the future. And you're like, cool, I don't hate my job. I actually love what I do. Nothing wrong with that. And awesome. Let's just move on from there. Some of you guys, maybe you got to close 20 or 40 deals, right? These are people that are really wanting to get something more than just a mediocre life and really want to scale past just 10 deals, right? In that case, you're definitely going to want to learn how to raise capital because everyone runs out of money, right? Some of you guys are even already ran out of money. Like it all starts with that financial literacy because if you don't have that down and you can't save up, 10 grand or 20 grand to even invest in yourself and invest in your first deal, how do you expect to be a millionaire? Right? I get all these comments all the time, and people ask me, it's like, okay, well, I can't afford to spend 10 grand on coaching or 5 grand on coaching, or I can't afford to pay a contractor, 20 or 38 grand for renovations. Well, it's like, okay, well, if you can't spend tens of thousands of dollars, how do you expect to get to 7 figures in net worth? How do you expect to be able to buy your financial freedom, right? Like if you're trying to become a millionaire, and a single digit millionaire isn't actually all that impressive anymore. It sucks, right? Do I wish I was born in a time where being a millionaire was a little bit more impressive? Sure. It would help with my freedom. It would help my family a lot. And, inflation would be less of a thing. But that's not the reality we live in, right? We're living in times where inflation is real and it is something that we need to deal with as investors. This is why I'm a big fan of real estate because it's traditionally an inflation hedge, meaning that as inflation goes up, property values tend to follow with it because it's a real asset, right? So we talked a little about marketing, that's important. We talked about building your power team, wanting to connect with contractors as well is going to be a big one. You want to be able to have trustworthy contractors that'll be able to help you do the work. When it comes to raising capital, we won't touch base on that just because if you're interested, you can go on my YouTube channel. I talk about that almost endlessly. And if you're at a point where you're forced to raise capital, you want to make sure you do it properly. And I'd love to invite you to do a free strategy session with me or my team at Alliance Real Estate and make sure that you understand how to raise money properly. Okay. It can help your business a lot. That being said, you also need to understand that you will be a steward of other people's money if you go down this route. And I want you to make sure you understand you need to treat other people's money with more respect than your own money, right? You are now essentially managing those funds, so you can't screw that up, right? I've done deals where I've personally lost money, but my investors, my money partners have never, right? I will pay them out first and I'll take the hit because as the real estate investor, I get paid last, right? But I'm the one that keeps the equity. I'm the one that keeps the property. And I want to make sure my money partners are always paid on time, okay? That's something a little bit more advanced. If you want to get into that, let me know. Send me a DM with the word mentorship. And then I'd love to sit down, see if you can apply for real estate coaching. And in that case, I'd love to build you a customized real estate roadmap because that's really what's going to help you understand, okay, how much capital do you need to raise, right? How are you going to get to that next level? And how do we get over this obstacle of not having enough capital for closing the next future deals, right? Calvin mentions, ask Patrick about the financial abundance course, best starting program that I've personally got. Yeah, so awesome. Thank you for the kind words, Calvin. If you guys are interested, message me the word blueprint on Instagram at Patrick J. Hilario. I'd love to send you more details on that. That one's our intro course, and that really covers not only the mindset necessary for getting into real estate investing, getting into entrepreneurship, and getting past all these roadblocks, all these excuses that we have of why it's scary, why it's uncomfortable, why you can't get into business, because you can, right? I fully believe in you. I'm someone who, I'm a trained teacher. I never actually intended to get into business. It all kind of just happened almost by accident, right? And that financial abundance course covers not just the mindset, but also, okay, how do you set up your financial statements? How do you understand finance both at a personal and a business level? How do you scale that and start adding multiple sources of income? How do you generate income quickly? And I'll be sharing a little secret on the most powerful thing, the number one secret that I've learned and that I've seen my students and my coaches and even my friends use to leave their 9 to 5. We'll be talking about that shortly. In the financial abundance course, you also learn how to manage debt, how to hack the debt and credit system so it's working for you, not against you. And that's really going to allow you to sleep better at night, understand that, yes, we live in a fiat based society, meaning if you don't understand debt, you probably don't understand how money works. And that's going to sabotage you, not in just your health, because we need money and credit to pay for the life that we want to live. That includes the food, levels of fitness. It's going to affect your relationships. What's the number one reason for divorce and ending of relationships? It's going to be money, right? Especially for the boys, for the guys watching this. If you don't have your money right, and I was just having a chat with this with one of my friends, is like, if you want a girlfriend, you got to understand that there is price to that, right? Like, do you know how much a girlfriend's quote unquote burn rate is? Like, do you know how much it actually costs to have a girlfriend? Right? Some of you, the young guys, don't actually even think about this. And you think, oh, okay, it's all good. Like, we're just gonna go on a couple dates, da da da. Now, I don't want you to get into provider mode too much, but that being said, you are expected to provide for some way or form. And I always tell like even my private clients this, like, hey, if you want to get into a relationship, you got to understand like a girlfriend has a burn rate, right? How much is a girlfriend spending on nails if you're doing that? How about on hair? How about on like, paying for some of her groceries? What if you're covering some of rent? What if you guys are splitting rent or you're covering that? You're in that provider state. Now, you don't want to lean on money, but at the same time, you're expected to take care of people. And I was having this chat with someone, and he was basically telling me, he's like, hey, yeah, like if you want to have a girlfriend, like you should be able to pay for three. And then we were just kind of laughing about that. And it's like, yeah, if you want the extra discretionary, extra income so you can completely cover that without having to be too stressed, like you got to be able to cover the lives of three people, right? Like, and that's at a minimum, man. This is why I'm so proud of every person that has a family. Like, if you're taking care of wife and kids, like that's huge, man. Like that's an accomplishment. Moving forward, let's get some assets so those assets can take care of you and your family, or take care of you, and maybe you want to start a family. Okay. Calvin Wong mentions, I'm not bragging at all, but since I've leveraged credit hacking under Patrick's wing, I've gained 200 plus on my credit score in a couple of months. Yeah, that's something we teach people in the financial abundance program. It's a course. We show people how to leverage their money, how to hack the credit system. And this is a big reason why taking on debt, especially if it's good debt, doesn't stress me out. And I try to make sure it doesn't stress out my students so they understand that they're using debt properly, right? We live, again, in a fiat based system. Okay. Our money is not backed by gold anymore. So you really need to understand why people that are a little bit wealthier, they're leveraging debt. They're using debt to their advantage. They're not ignoring their finances. They're actually using finances to build the life that we want to build. Okay, this is a little bit more philosophical, but we don't actually make money, right? You can't make money. Governments can print it, but as individuals, we do not make money. We spend time. right? Again, you want to look at it that way and that you're spending time. Got a call there. I want to make sure that I'm still here. And I'm just going to leave you guys with that, in that you want to really understand, how are you spending your time? Okay. Because you're either spending it building someone else's dream, working a 9 to 5, being able to go that way. Now, that's totally fine if that's part of your mission, right? And this is something a little bit more higher level, in that I'd love for you guys to work for a mission, not just money, right? And that's a big reason I stayed in the public school education system for a little bit longer than I probably should have. It got a little crazy near the end there, past few years, especially with a lack of, let's say, critical thinking that was going on, a lack of actual scientific method, but that's beside the point. But you stay in these jobs not because it pays the bills. I guess that's a certain level you want to get to, but because it adds to your overall mission. Right? So one of my missions is to help 100 aspiring real estate investors get to their first million in real estate and make over 100 grand in income. Because yeah, the money is important, but something that we also teach our students is, okay, how do we use that money in a way that's not only going to provide for your family, not only going to provide for your bloodline, but also provide for your community. So if you're serious about getting into real estate, you want to learn a little bit more, I'd love to offer you a free real estate strategy session. Just DM me the word coach. I'll send you some questions. We'll make sure that we build you a customized real estate roadmap. I got to get to know your personal situation, because I truly believe anyone and everyone can get into real estate. That being said, you got to have the right mindset for this, and you got to be ready to put in some work. It's not going to be easy, but it is simple, right? So if you have that mindset, if you're ready to get to the next level, if you want to make sure that we can handle money so you can reduce your stress, you can sleep better at night, make sure that, some of us, I know for me, my parents are getting older, so I had no choice but to get into real estate, because I wanted to provide that retirement that they deserve. Right. So if you're someone like that, you want to provide for parents, you want to provide for your family, you just want to live a life where, let's handle the problem of money so that you're not stressed about that, so that we can get to the next level and start living life, start spending time doing things that we want to do, instead of just trading time for money. So you guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys all. I'm gonna get out of here because I got a call that just came in, and I got to make sure I respond to that. But yeah, thanks so much. I appreciate everyone here. You guys are awesome. Hope you guys learned something new. And again, remember, if you want to get started into real estate, you got to start marketing. Oh, the number one secret, I forgot to share that. I'll do that real quick. The number one secret I found when it comes to being able to get into real estate, but also get your time and freedom back, is going to be taking the job you're already doing, and maybe it's something you already love, especially if it's something you already love, and then doing it on the free market. Meaning you're just taking the exact work that you're already doing and then monetizing that privately through your own business. I'm a trained teacher, right? That being said, what did I do? I became an educational consultant. I became a tutor. I monetized what I was already doing, which was teaching, and then turned that into, let's say, the coaching side, right? I help high performers make sure that not only they're reaching their goals, getting into real estate, but also saving themselves 5 to 10 hours a week, while also scaling their business without having to spend their own money, right? I'm still teaching. I'm still doing almost the exact same thing I was back at a job. The difference is now it's a business. I've had a friend, he transitioned from being a full-time 9-to-5er in project management, and now he does the exact same thing, but privately, so now he can charge his own rates. I've had another friend, he was a carpenter for his job, transitioned to being a carpenter for his business. And this is a natural transition that can happen as long as you understand that if you already have a job, that means you're already getting paid for that, which means there's already customers around. You can just take that same job and turn it into self-employment or a small business. You can not only get paid more, Now you can start applying leverage. You can hire people. You can use different AI and different tools. So that, again, you're doing the exact same job, but maybe you're charging a little bit more. You're getting a little bit more free time. And that's really what's going to help you design your life. So that's a big thing that I found with people who've left their 9 to 5s, and they really used that 9 to 5 to train themselves to just get better at their craft, right? The goal should not just be money, but it's truly about mastery, and mastery of your craft, mastery of yourself. Because again, like I mentioned, your social and your financial success is never going to exceed your own personal development. That's the last thing I want to leave with you guys. Again, if you guys are interested, I'd love to invite you to a free real estate strategy session. If you're someone that's a little bit more on the entrepreneurial side, I'd love to invite you for a strategy session anyway, because I do help high performers get to the next level, especially if you're an aspiring real estate investor or if you're an aspiring high performer and you want to make sure that you avoid the pitfalls of entrepreneurship and investing. We can save you time so you're not living the same year over and over again, not getting to the next level in your real estate investing or in your financial abundance and success. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I'm out of here. Peace.
And thank you again, Patrick, for this program. It changed my life. It changed my mindset. It changed everything. That was the best six weeks of my life.
I just want to give a shout out to my man Patrick. Just honestly been one of the best teachers that I've ever had.
It's a very informative course. Patrick works with you one-on-one, so if there's any questions or anything you might be doubting or you're uncertain of, he'll definitely be there to help. Honestly, I highly suggest this course. It's taught me a lot through my journey.